All right, welcome everyone to the daily trading recap, small account challenge recap that we're doing here. For those of you that don't know, if you haven't seen the other videos, basically a little over a month ago, I decided to start playing around with some options and see what I could do with a small account, about $1,000 account, see how far I could grow it, what I could do with the new strategy that I had been developing and forward testing basically. And in about a month, I had taken a small account and brought it up over 100%. Here's kind of the P&L over that time. You can see that we made a nice smooth gains right there. Unfortunately, we did take a pretty big hit on this day right here and have just been kind of teetering along right here. But $100 percent or 100% in a small account is a pretty significant thing, and so I've been kind of documenting that and posting that to all the patrons as I'm taking the trades each day, and also documenting it here on YouTube in a recap each day. Let me get that recording there out of the middle of it. And so like I said, each day I've been posting as I'm taking these live trades. Again, just basic options, basic calls and puts. Nothing too extravagant. Again, just very basic option stuff, and only on the S&P 500. Let's jump over here and take a look at our Discord. So today we started off the day with Sasquatch. This guy is a beast. I'm assuming it's a guy. Forgive me if you are not a male. It could very well be female, not really sure, but they are a beast, constantly posting some amazing analysis on the Forex market. And then of course we have some other members, Chester also doing some great things, and our admin Jay really posting some great stuff. He wasn't very active today, not a whole lot going on in the futures world, I don't think. And so I kind of started my day here right after the market. So generally, I don't trade in the first 15 to 20 minutes of the market open. Things are just too absolutely crazy and choppy. We're taking a look here at the SPY chart here. These areas that I have marked out with colors, again, as I said in the last video, are support and resistance. I'm still trying to figure out exactly when I'm going to post these daily recaps. I wish I could do it the day of, but my schedule is super busy and I just can't seem to find time to do the recap the day of. So I think what I'll do is, in starting with this video, is I'll try posting the daily recap of the day before and do it during the day. And so this video will actually be yesterday's daily recap. And so this is August 9th, the daily trading session of August 9th on the SPY. And so as I said, the chart here is marked out with support and resistance zones that I have went back and used support and resistance indicators and so on. Again, all this information I'm happy to share with patrons. If you are interested, then jump on our Patreon, super cheap, and jump on the Patreon only channel and ask me about marking out support and resistance or whatever. Happy to give as much information as I can. But anyways, I started out the day here. Again, I avoided the first 15 to 20 minutes of the day. You can see here that I knew right away that today might be a choppy day, because you can see that this open right here, you can see these spikes and these candles back and forth. So we got a red, then a green, then a red, then a green, started to go up a little bit green, and then straight immediately back down. And as it did that right here at about 9:50, you can see that I posted the first kind of call out here to all the patrons and told them that I was jumping on these 3 contracts here. That's generally what I'm trading right now, is just 3 contracts, and I typically go about 3 or 4 in the money, so that way I can try to offset my my risk reward, kind of balancing the two out right about the center as best as possible. And so I jumped on these puts right here. Again, I called that out at 950 right as I was doing that. My take profit was, the first take profit was around the 410.50-ish range, somewhere in that area. And as you can see here, it just kind of went stagnant. Price action just bouncing right here, not really moving much at all. And so as it finally made this break right here on this long wick, I went ahead and dumped out part of the position. One contract I went ahead and dumped. And so before, basically what I was doing was buying 3 contracts. When I hit the first take profit, I would exit 2 of those contracts, let one ride out. And I've been doing that again, and that's how I grew the small account in the first place. It's how I got some really good gains and some really great days. But one of our admins, Jay, wonderful trader, again, futures, stuff like that, posted stuff in the Patreon only channel for everybody and his knowledge, mentioned that it might be better off if instead of taking profits at the kind of stages, that I let the whole thing run. And I've seen studies on that, and Jay actually pointed me to a study as well, whereas people have done tests, and they when they have staggered take profits, they actually end up losing money. And when they allow the trade to run its full extent and just exit the full trade at the exit signal, it tends to always do better. And so since I had tested this system, back tested it a specific way using first take profit and so on, I was afraid to just switch the entire thing. So what I decided to do was, instead of exiting the 2 contracts at first take profit, I'm going to exit 1 contract at take profit and let 2 of them ride out. So that way, hopefully we can maximize our nice winning running trades and get the most out of them as we can, but still insulating ourselves some in case the market pushes down and then immediately spikes back against us. And that's kind of what happened here. So it pushed down, and I noticed again that price was just kind of stalled right here in this area, and we were right in this big green zone, which means there is a lot of kind of support right here, kind of holding up this price. And so as it started to push down right here, I went ahead and dumped 1 contract, and sure enough, immediately price started to push its way back up towards the open price of the day. And as it did, I went ahead and dumped the last bit of the position, I think somewhere around in here. Let's see, I called it out for everyone. Let's see, sold the rest there, so that was 1033. So right in this area, when it became obvious that it was going to well, potentially flip to the upside. Never really know where it's going to go. And so I wasn't willing to hold the position any more than that. And that did end up putting me down in the red just a little bit, not by much, but a little bit. And so I suspected here that they were going to make a run for the open price and maybe for high of day, but it kind of stalled out again, and they started to push this back down. This kind of gave me the general direction of the day as they kept spiking this down. It would pop up and they would spike it down, but then they would spike it down and immediately spike it back up. As you can see right here, I called out this next trade that I was going to jump on these puts right at 11 o'clock. This was not, I didn't enter, or no, I'm sorry, this particular one. Yes, this one right here, I entered at the bottom of this long red candle. I thought that it had made a nice momentum move and it was going to continue to push down nicely. You see, unfortunately, it didn't. It pushed back up, and then it rejected these areas again and pushed down. And about right here, as it started to push down from this candle into this candle right here, I went ahead and jumped on this move. That pushed down really nicely there, coming down, and I went ahead and dumped our first take profit right as this candle bottomed out right here. And then you see again, came down, it hit this area, and then they immediately just spiked it right back up to the open. And that told me, that kind of confirmed right there that they were going to keep trying to spike it down, but they were also going to just have this price action in a range today, that it was most likely just going to keep bouncing back and forth with a lot of indecision. I mean, the buyers and sellers were basically in a straight gridlock, not pushing price anywhere. And so I went ahead and dumped the rest of this position as it started to work its way back up here. And this was kind of the issue that I had in the beginning with only taking one contract off the table at first take profit, is that as price moves back against us with two contracts, when it does go straight back against us like this and closes out at a loss, it does take a nice little chunk out of our P&L for the day. And so that did put me down a decent little amount right there. Again, little red right here, a little red again. I think that put me at, all in all, right about $100 down for the day right there. And so as it pushed up again right here and started to break above this area, I was definitely not inclined to jump on long positions because it hadn't broke high a day, and I could see that they just kept spiking this thing back down. So I was watching to see if they were going to make another push to the downside. Sure enough, you can see that they started to push it down right here. And I thought if I jumped in a little bit earlier, maybe that would give me a little bit insulation and a quick, nice, tight stop on this one in case it turned against me. And hopefully it would come down, break the low a day, and make a nice run to the downside. And so I jumped in some more puts right around in this area. I think it actually was on the wick of this candle right here. And so I saw this red candle started to break down right here on this wick below this kind of zone right here and these zones. And I thought, okay, they might be trying to push it to the low of day again, and we have enough room to get to our first take profit. But as soon as I jumped in it, they spiked it back into the green side right here, and I almost took a full stop right here. I got really close. I was watching it with a hawk's eye, right? A hawk's eye, not Hulk's eye, not like, oh, I am Hulk, but like a hawk, like the bird. Anyways, so right here, I was watching it very closely. And as it started to reject that area, I started to breathe a little bit better, and it pushed down right here. And as we were getting close to the low of the day, I went ahead and exited that one first take profit. And I thought surely they were going to make a push to below this area. I didn't know how far it was going to go, but they were going to try. And sure enough, right as it hit this area, it just ran into straight consolidation, and they stepped it up. They made this higher low right here, and I knew from that point right there that they were going to try to run it back up. And so I went ahead and dumped the rest of the position, and they just kept bouncing price the rest of the day. It would come down, hit right in this area, and then they would just run it right back up. They just kept bouncing it, running it, bouncing it, running it, bouncing it, running it. And so once this fell right here, I knew that I was about done for the day. I was definitely not looking forward to trying to jump on any more positions and let them spike it back up out of there on me and take a heavy loss. And so I was very patient today, traded, in my opinion, very well. I was very mindful of what the market was doing, and because of that, I was able to insulate myself from what would have been a very big red day had I just jumped on anything that was moving, like when trend is really kind of pushing the market around and it's making some really good moves. And so all in all, like I said, that was the last puts I was on there. Took first take profit, dumped the rest, and I ended the day in the red by 103, which seems like a bad thing, but again, I was extremely happy with the way I traded, and that could have been easily $600-700 loss on today had I just taken every little signal that I got. But I was patient, watching the market, reading things accurately, and it turned out to be in my benefit. Obviously, we are going to have red days, and I'm still trying to work out the fine details of this trading strategy and my full rules and everything that I've set in place. And so this is kind of just a journal of this strategy, the development of it, what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, and along the way, obviously, seems to be working really well. And so keeping our red days as small as we can, and hopefully letting our green days go as large as they can. And so again, if you are not part of our Patreon only channel, I highly recommend that you join us. The Patreon is only $9 a month right now. to join and to get access to this information. Tons of trade analysis. You can see all day long. Sasquatch is a beast, just posting trade analysis after trade analysis after trade analysis on the Forex market. During the day, I am basically scalping, day trading options on the S&P 500. And then we have Jay, who is doing kind of swing, almost not really scalping, but just kind of swing trading, almost futures and stuff like that. Again, posting some great analysis and wonderful information on his strategies and how he does what he does. So there is a ton of benefits to becoming a patron of the channel. I highly recommend it. All right, that's it for this video here. We're going to cut it, and I will see everyone on the next video.